Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, I'm actually loving to go and see and talk about this news in regards to the PlayStation 5 and scalpers. Now, as you guys know, there is a pretty big still demand going on for these PlayStation 5s, but as of right this second, it does seem like the PlayStation 5 scalper demand, and more so especially, the price point is dropping like rocks. Now, this has been fantastic to go and see because it does seem like we've had stock a lot more readily available, and I do keep on saying on my channel I would like to go and calm down on kind of like more of the restocking type news and more so focus on better gaming videos. We also have a lot of big changes too. We also have some kind of cool stuff such as like an editor on the way and a lot of cool stuff coming up for 2023. So kind of bear with me these next few weeks as we kind of go and struggle along throughout these next little bit of time. We're gonna have a lot of cool channel changes coming up soon. But when it does come with these price points with this one, we are seeing a lot of interest kind of slowly going down. We're also seeing the price points as well kind of equalizing out, and as well it kind of seems like just a lot of folks are kind of moving off of these consoles. Now I do want to remind everyone though, we still are seeing quite a bit of interest still, and there is still a bit of like that last little bit of bump, and especially if there's going to be a January, February where maybe not so many restocks happen, because obviously the Sony and Microsoft like to flood the markets a lot more throughout the holidays, because more people are getting holiday bonuses and spending and more marketing, advertising, all of that put together. But we are just seeing a lot of good news when it comes to prices. So let's go talk about this, talk about the story, and as well make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, or $500 giveaway. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below in case you guys want to go and follow. We also do have the Amazon links down below. We have the Target links down below, and all the other various things too. And let's dive into the video. So as we've been kind of covering up throughout the channel itself, we've been seeing a lot more general availability. Now we've had a little bit of a drier past few days, but there has still been stock that's readily available on these big boy retailers. But we've even been seeing news articles over here floating that scalper bots are slowly starting to lose interest in PS5s, report suggest, and also, although sadly, does still remain the most targeted product despite these stock increases. Now, as we've been kind of covering over here in the channel, we have been seeing a lot more of an active base of stock. And I kind of keep on thinking and speculating around the January, February time is when stock should hopefully be pretty consistently in the stores, and as well should hopefully be pretty consistent online. Now we have been seeing like a bigger flow, and while some places such as Walmart's or even sometimes Target's have been selling out, it does kind of go to show that stock is potentially, well, getting back to normal. But one thing to kind of note is that when it comes to third-party sellers, so think botters, scalpers, and all of that, they are becoming a lot more commonplace, and as well getting more desperate, and as well kind of selling down the cost quite a bit. So I'm going to show you guys even my own local area over here for Facebook on the Facebook Marketplace for the PlayStation 5s. And now this one's intriguing to look at. As you guys can go and see, these price points are pretty much almost the same as normal individual consoles. The one thing to big note though is that the digital consoles have still been holding up their price points even on other separate websites pretty well. So you guys can even look at this. Digital 530, normal digital edition 500. But one of the more standard things to look at for is some of these normal consoles. So a good example is someone has a $540 console, which is pretty much around the same exact price point of a normal, as I drop my headset, as a normal individual console. So if you also factor in the $499 price tag plus tax, I think for me it was like around 547 or 557. I forgot the specifics on the 4 or 5, and this is pretty much then at cost for consoles. We also have other folks over here for $575 for pretty much cost. We also include the receipt too as well. Like maybe an extra 20 bucks, maybe they're scalpers and they're trying to basically try to get rid of their stock. Here's a $500 PlayStation 5 disc console, but some of these are also open, which does take away the value obviously for the consoles themselves. But you guys can kind of see there's even price checks where it's like $600 over here, a big old slash through it, 550 bucks. And it kind of just goes and show that a lot of these console sellers are just kind of almost delusional. Like someone over here is trying to sell a brand new, normal, open looks like console for $500 on top of this. Now, is that a good price point? I'd probably say no, because if I could go and buy a normal console from Amazon, Walmart, Best Buy, Target, PS Stretch, or whatever for that price, why am I buying to someone who already used their console, opened it, could have maybe already been using it for the past 2 years, God only knows. Yeah, it doesn't seem like a very fun time to go and see. Now, some of these also, I kind of almost want to make a separate video on this too, but just a really quick notice for this one. Sometimes we have been seeing some of these console price points that do kind of seem like scams, in all honesty. I also have some random guy switches over here. But like something like this is like a $250 console. This is probably a scam. So I want to remind everyone, be careful. If it sounds too good to be true, it most likely is. But as you guys can kind of see, like scalping prices, it kind of seems like scalping's almost ending. Now, once again, it's not 100% done at this point, but it's getting very, very close. Where does anyone really want to go through the whole effort of like paying for a $550 console or even $560, for say like a God of War Ragnarok bundle, and then have to resell it with basically no profit available? Now, Facebook is a little bit more different because it's more in your local area, and I'm in a city, so obviously a lot more competition, but it kind of goes to show that even other places such as eBay and such are still kind of bringing down their price points. Like we're seeing some of these things over here too, where some of these consoles, once again, these are probably scams, just be always careful with that one. But we're still seeing these consoles where, yeah, some folks may have actually sold and might be getting some and shipping some of these consoles floating around, but it just kind of is, well, sketchy. Like some of these things you see over these, they're getting like a little bit of price cuts. For $600 over here was $715, and they probably realized, hey, like we're probably gonna have to start selling the stock a little bit quicker. Or over here too as well, which is the digital, which once again, the digital is like one of the last major things to fall. Like the digital for some odd reason has still has a huge markup price point. Even as we saw over here on Facebook, the price point is still an extra like $100 or so, depending on the bundle and what you go get stock wise. Now, this is only like $60 over there, but let's say you go look at something like a StockX. You guys can kind of go and see some of these datas over here, or they can kind of go look at some of these digitals, where it does seem like after this holiday rush has ended, like right after this like nice little Black Friday, we are kind of going back in this small ground. And I kept on saying as soon as we kind of crack through that $600 mark, which we still have to wait for the disc edition, that happens pretty much there, that pretty much everything's going to go and skull, like just straight fall. And I think that's been a pretty good take on it, because I think after this Christmas rush is done, after almost every holiday, you guys can always go and see and look for this as a reference, after pretty much every holiday, there's always that massive downward push. Although these past few years, there has always been a really big scarcity right after, which kind of bounces those price points back up. As you guys can see, this is like huge drop down. A lot of people got their consoles for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and Christmas, but then there usually was always a little bit of a lull, where there just really wasn't that much stock and restocks right after this period, and they always had a little bit of a bounce back. Now, we're going to hope that Sony can kind of maintain stock through it. Like, if they can kind of have just I think if they had one really big last restock wave of every single console, so we're talking like, or every single big retailer. So, after the holidays, after Christmas, like a January 15th or so, if they just went and they sat and they had pretty much every single console go on sale at Walmart, Target, Amazon, Best Buy, and like everything all in between, all at the same exact week, like just a huge influx of stock. While stock has still been good and scalpers and botters are toning down, you guys can even see, like we mentioned, with some of these articles floating around where it just kind of seems like they're chill and they're kind of moving on. And then I think at that point, the restocking grind will be over, and anyone who truly does want their consoles at the end of the day will have a chance to go and get it. Now, are we there yet? We might still have a few more months, and there might be a few more times where stock does go and sell out fully. We have to still wait for restocks, but it does kind of seem like the PS5 grind, or like the big issue to get your consoles, does go and pretty much stop. Like at this point, if someone really want to get their consoles on even Facebook, they throw an extra $50, and most people, if they waited this long, they'd probably be okay to either just wait for a normal retail console, at a GameStop, Best Buy, or whatever, or just go pay the extra $50 and be fine. So it does kind of seem like these scalpers are pretty much, number one, getting desperate because we're seeing all this stock and the stock isn't really there and everyone's kind of worried about what's going on and they kind of have to flood the stock. But number two is that it just kind of seems like a lot of folks just don't really necessarily care that much. Like for like PS5 at $508, I'd rather just go wait and go get like a God of War bundle digital for $460 and pay around the same amount of money, but have a proper warranty from like a Sony, Walmart, Best Buy, or whatever it may go and be. But you have to give them some credit because it does seem like a lot of this kind of fell down pretty quick. You had this huge November bump up, and we still probably have a lot of interest right before the holidays, but I'm going to hope that this even goes down even farther as soon as January goes and happens, as we've seen in all these other various cases too as well. But I would love to hear your thoughts because this is kind of making me happy. I love seeing this, and I love seeing scalpers basically just not not knowing what to do with their stock. Just make sure you guys don't get scammed. And as well, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. I hope you guys are excited for future videos we're going to be doing too. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below. We have the Amazon links down below. We have the Target links down below. And the Twitter and Twitch room if you guys want bonus giveaway follows. And we'll have that giveaway announced up pretty soon. And if you guys are scalpers, well, good luck in whatever you guys go and do next. I'm very happy to see you all pretty much moving on as of now.